which grows with the least amount of provisions, that is something which the Sufis aspire to as well. All of these then are given as an idea of what Sufism is. Offering an ishtilahi, what we say, a terminological definition of Sufism, I will not even try to attempt. Because there are so many different definitions, coming back to the different states and what people actually experience from this discipline. But overall, what I will do is give you an idea of the basic elements that we can almost all agree on unanimously. Firstly, Sufism as a discipline, it strives for human perfection, as symbolized, as epitomized flawlessly by our Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. He is the first point of return. He is the perfect exemplar, he is the perfect role model. Sufism makes the soul the focus of attention, the inward state, what we actually feel, and how that relates to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how this is an amana, something which has been given to us, led to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how Allah wants it back eventually. And Sufism as a discipline teaches that let us ensure that we return this soul exactly the same way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave it to us in the first place. Also, the discipline belittles the work of this world. And as we move on, we'll see that in some of the sayings of our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Time and time again, you will see the Sufis talk about the importance of the akhirah, and how small and how unimportant what we see around us really is. Sufism encourages love and affection between all humans. Mahabba is the central element, the central language of the Sufi. Between race, between ethnicity, between gender, and even between different religions. And this is something that inshallah we'll pick up on later. And finally, it encourages as a discipline the spiritual contemplation of the works of Allah. That the Sufi wants to realize what his place is in this world. How does that relate to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has in store for him? How small or how significant is he in this greater creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? All of these points make up what we understand as the discipline of Sufism. Moving on to the next part, a very important part is we have to now see whether Sufism is alien to the basic and fundamental beginnings of Islam, or it is in actually direct compliance with it. Where can we find the teachings of Sufism? Can we find it directly from the Quran and the Sunnah? If we can, then we know that Sufism is not a bid'ah. Or, if the teachings of Sufism are external, are totally different from what the Quran and Sunnah have to offer, then perhaps we could argue that this is an innovation in our religion. First point I will start with, though, a very important point, is that the word tasawwuf, or the word Sufi, is not mentioned in the Holy Quran at all. From Alham to Wan-Nas, wherever you will look in the Holy Quran, you will not find the word tasawwuf. Now this has given an opportunity for some Muslims to suggest, therefore, that Sufism has no place in Islam. That if the word is not mentioned, then how can you justify that it is a part of Islam? They say that if Sufism or Tasawwuf was a part of our teachings, of our religion, then most certainly you would find that word in the Holy Quran. It's an unfortunate opinion, and I'll explain it very simply. The answer to this is that you and I know that the most basic fundamental teachings of our religion is the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everyone will agree with that, without exception. Regardless of their aqidah background, everyone unanimously will agree that the oneness of Allah, La ilaha illallah, is the basic of our religion. What do we term this as? Tawheed. Tawheed is the basics of our religion. Where is the word Tawheed in the Quran? It's not there. From beginning to end, the word Tawheed does not appear in the Quran. I understand that from the works of Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Jami Tirmidhi, Sunan Abu Dawud, and even the works of the Ahadith, there is not a single mention of the word Tawheed. So what does that imply? Does that imply that Tawheed is alien or external to the teachings of Islam? Of course not. Just because the term doesn't appear, the concept certainly does. The teachings do. That you can't say that just because the word Tawheed does not appear in the Quran, that means that Islam does not actually sanction Tawheed. Of course you can't argue that. Indirectly, implicitly, from the beginning to end, the Quran teaches nothing but Tawheed. Does it not? But directly and explicitly, we might not see the actual word there. So in exactly the same word, in exactly the same way, if we don't find the word Sufism in the Quran, do not think for a moment that that means that Sufism is external and different to Islam. Indirectly, whatever Sufism preaches is to be found in the Quran and in the Sunnah of our Prophet ﷺ. Just a few verses to prove that. Number one, the believers are only those when Allah is mentioned feel a fear in their hearts. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِذَا ذُكِرَ اللَّهُ وَجِلَتْ قُلُوبُهُم. That just the mentioning of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stirs an emotion in them. And that emotion is felt right here. This is where the source of that emotion actually comes. وَإِذَا تُلِيَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتٌ. And when his verses are recited unto them, the verses increase their faith. وَعَلَى رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ. A very basic fundamental of Sufism, they place their trust purely in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This verse is like a manifesto, you could say, of what the Sufism tries to strive for and tries to achieve. Other verses, we talked about how Sufism encourages spiritual contemplation. A beautiful verse in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praises those believers who يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ قِيَامًا وَقُعُودًا وَعَلَى جُنُوبِهِمْ, who remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala standing, sitting in every state. And they ponder, وَيَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. They ponder over the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They try to understand what their position is in this world. And then, as a reaction to the awe and beauty of Allah's creation, they say, رَبَّنَا مَا خَلَقْتَ هَذَا بَاطِلًا. That, oh Allah, you have not created all of this in vain. There is a purpose behind it. Likewise, the verse that I recited at the beginning, a very fundamental and pivotal ayat, stating the whole purpose of the tasawwuf, أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبُ. That indeed, in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the hearts, they find real peace. Likewise, very importantly, that you will see that books like the works of Imam Qushayri, a Sufi manual, an early Sufi manual, the whole book, in essence, and you can have a look at it later, what it takes certain concepts, and it offers the teachings and the Sufi position on that. Concepts like tawakkul, dependence, sabr, patience, taqwa, piety, zuhd, renunciation, simplicity, zikr, dua, tawbah, istiqamah, steadfastness. And it talks about each one of these concepts in detail. Every single one of these concepts is taken from the Quran directly. All Sufism has done is given that formal feel to what the Quran is already teaching. All of these concepts are to be found in the teachings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the Sunnah, we mentioned this earlier, that the Sufis, their main role model and their perfect example is the life of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. So his life is the central returning point when they want to learn about this discipline. I'll just point out two or three places which point to where the Prophet ﷺ adopted what we can call Sufi teachings. Number one, just prior to the Prophet ﷺ's first public announcement of Nabuwwah, the Prophet ﷺ would seek meditation in Ghar Hira, 2 or 3 miles outside the center of Makkah Sharif, outside the Kaaba. There he would take up some food to last him a few days, and he would have a position where he could see the Kaaba Sharif. And there